My interest in research really started when I was a resident and as a fellow, understanding the exploration of new knowledge and how that can help patients. And very early on, I recognized that in our clinical practice, we can help people on a day-to-day basis. And when we teach residents, we can help people that they will help in the future. But the beauty of research is that we can help patients around the world that we'll never meet. And I find that impact to be incredibly powerful. In collaboration with my partner, Dr. Hagen Kennecke at BC Cancer, we had been using chemotherapy in patients with locally advanced cancers and saw the impact it could have on those lesions. So we were interested in applying that to patients with early rectal cancer, something that had never been done before. And when we embarked on that journey, we got support for that from the Canadian Cancer Trials Group. And once we started enrolling patients, we saw these tumors essentially disappearing with chemotherapy. And it's been an incredible journey. In fact, just last week, I saw one of the patients that we had treated, and when his tumor had shrunk to a point where we could remove it with a very minor operation, he always tells me how he went kite surfing the day after surgery. And so to be able to provide that for him and to provide these new treatments for patients in Vancouver and in British Columbia is one of the things I'm most proud of.
Dr. Brown and I are in the same specialty of colorectal surgery, and here at St. Paul's we do a large volume of colorectal surgery. A lot of it is cancer. But to translate that clinical load into research and inquiry takes a lot. And Dr. Brown has very successfully over the years set up an infrastructure for research, surrounded ourselves with a great team of research coordinators, but also beyond that, it requires inspiring the people around him to be just as enthusiastic about research as he is, and that enthusiasm is quite infectious. So in that sense, I think he's done a great job.
I think Dr. Brown never gives himself enough credit, to be honest. He started this research program from just 2 surgeons, and he's been able to develop it into a team of 5 surgeons, 2 clinical fellows in colorectal surgery. I think he has 5 or 6 research assistants as well as 5 or 6 residents. So it's actually quite a large team that he's been able to put together. And he hasn't done it alone. He's been able to get, funding from provincial, national, international sources, that he's been able to do all of these programs that just never existed before. So it's actually very exciting that he's been able to form a program out of nothing and made it sustainable.
He also cares about his team members immensely and understands that successful research requires building a team. He's an ideal mentor, looking out for others and creating opportunities to thrive and succeed.
One of the most striking features of Carl's research is the belief in what he does and how it can be used to help patients. In that way, he's the true clinician researcher.
I would say that the common thread through most of the work I've done and the work we've done in collaboration with our team has been that we apply technology, new technology, modern surgical techniques to try to both improve the outcomes of patients with regard to surviving cancer, but with always an eye towards survivorship and trying to make patients' lives better, not just survive, but live. My mother had colorectal cancer, and she's been a big motivation for me throughout my career. And when I think of trying to help the patients that we deal with, both in clinical practice and in research and in things like the Ride to Conquer Cancer, I'm really driven by thinking of her and thinking of all the families that go through the difficulties that we went through when she was diagnosed and treated with cancer. So I hold on to that memory, and she passed away this past year, and I was still very happy that she got an extra 15 years of life because her treatment for colorectal cancer was successful.
It's always nice to be recognized, but it's not something that Dr. Brown, specifically wants himself, but I think it will help lead the way and be a role model for other people. I think this is really going to be a spark of innovation for other people to start their own research programs and to be able to help the people of BC.